श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओं। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गजाननं भूतगणातिसेवितं कपित्तजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजं। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। शिवं शिवकरं शान्तं शिवात्मानं शिवोत्तमं शिवमार्गप्रणेतारं प्रणतोऽस्मि सदाशिवम्। आयुर्देहि धनं देहि विद्यां देहि महेश्वरी अभीष्टमखिलं देवि देहि मे परमेश्वरी। सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते। शरणागतदीर्नाथपरित्राणपरायणे सर्वस्यार्तिहरे देवी नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं। सशङ्खचक्रं सकिरीटकुण्डलं सपीतवस्त्रं सरसीरुहेक्षणं सहारवक्षस्थलशोभिकौस्तुभं नमामि विष्णुं शिरसा चतुर्भुजं। छायायां पारिजातस्य आसीनमम्बुधश्याममायदाक्षमलङ्कृतं चन्द्राननं चतुर्भागं श्रीवत्साङ्गितवक्षसं रुक्मिणी सत्यभामाभ्यां सहितं कृष्णमाश्रये। अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष जनार्दन रक्ष रक्ष महेश्वरी। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वम् अरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शुद्धस्फटिकसङ्काशं शुद्धविद्याप्रदायकं शुद्धं पूर्णं चिदानन्दं सदाशिवमहं श्रये। शङ्कारूपेण मच्चित्तं पङ्कीकृतमभूद्यया किं करीयस्य सा माया शङ्कराचार्यमाश्रये। प्रह्लादवरदो देवो यो नृसिंहः परो हरिः नृसिंहोपासकं नित्यं तं नृसिंहगुरुं भजे। श्रीसच्चिदानन्दशिवाभिनव्यनृसिंहभारत्यभिधान्यतीन्द्रान् विद्यानिधीन् मन्त्रनिधीन् सदात्मनिष्ठान् भजे मानवशम्भुरूपान्। सदात्मध्याननिरतं विषयेभ्यः पराङ्मुखं नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारतीं। विवेकिनं महाप्रज्ञं धैर्यौदार्यक्षमानिधिं सदाभिनवपूर्वं तं विद्यातीर्थगुरुं भजे। अज्ञानां जाह्नवीतीर्थं विद्यातीर्थं विवेकिनां सर्वेषां सुखदं तीर्थं भारतीतीर्थमाश्रये। भारतीकरुणापात्रं भारतीपदभूषणं भारतीपदमारूढं भारतीतीर्थमाश्रये। विद्याविनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विदुषेखरभारतीं। मालासुधाकुम्भविबोधमुद्रा विद्याविराजत्करवारिजाताम् अपारकारुण्यसुधाम्बुराशिं श्रीशारदाम्बां प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्. Today I thought of chanting Guru Stotram. अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. अज्ञानां जाह्नवीतीर्थं ज्ञान अज्ञानतिमिरादित्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. सर्वश्रुतिशिरोरत्न विराजितपदाम्बुजः वेदान्ताम्बुजसूर्यो यः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. चैतन्यशाश्वतशान्तो व्योमातीतो निरञ्जनः बिन्दुनादकलातीतः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. ज्ञानशक्तिसमारूढः तत्त्वमाला विभूषितः भुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदाता च तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. अनेकजन्मसम्प्राप्त कर्मबन्धविदाहिने आत्मज्ञानप्रदानेन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. शोषणं भवसिन्धोश्च ज्ञापनं सारसम्पदः गुरोः पादोदकं सम्यक् तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोरधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. मन्नाथः श्रीजगन्नाथः मद्गुरुः श्रीजगद्गुरुः मदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. गुरुरादिरनादिश्च गुरुः परमदैवतं गुरोः परतरं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्याद्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव. श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तिसुदेशिकेन्द्रं द्वैपायनं सूत्रकृतं मुनीन्द्रं श्रीशङ्करं भाष्यकृतं यतीन्द्रं मद्देशिकञ्चापि नमामि विद्यै. ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः. सर्वोपप्लवरहितप्रज्ञानगणः प्रत्यगतो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. In the last session, we had seen how Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya went in search of Vishwarupa Mandana Mishra, invited him for debate, defeated him in the debate. He inducted Vishwarupa into Krama Sannyasa. He gave him Krama Sannyasa. And he gave him Sureshwara as Diksha Nama. He taught him Advaita Vedanta Shastram. Then he requested Ubhaya Bharati, who was ready to go aboard, who was ready to go to her kingdom. But he requested her and he told her that she had to accompany him and stay where he requests the goddess. Ubhaya Bharati agreed for that. She said, I will follow you, but others cannot see. And wherever you want, I will be there. The moment you think, I will be there and do whatever is required. With that promise, she went off. Adi Shankaracharya, along with now Sureshwaracharya, they start their travel along with other disciples also. Plenty of students, Adi Shankaracharya had plenty of students. So they traveled to different places. They were teaching Dharma Shastram and Vedanta Shastram to people. Shankara went to many places in Bharata. It seems he traveled 3 times. He undertook 3 times travel throughout India. from north to east, from north to west, south, and east to west. It is very difficult even to imagine in those days how a person can travel all over India by foot. It is very impossible to even think. But because he is Parameshwara Avatara, he could achieve that. We will go through some of the important places where he visited and composed a lot of stotrams and did wonders. Just to take very few of them, we'll just start with South. South India, he traveled to Rameshwaram, had darshan of Ramanatha Swami. In fact, Ramanatha Swami is the Ishvara for Sringeri also. The Kshetram is Ramanatha Kshetram. Then Tiruchendur, he prayed Lord Subramanya and composed Subramanya Bhujangam there. He went to Madurai, had darshan of Meenakshi Ambal Sundareshwarar, composed Meenakshi Panchakam. Then he went to Srirangam, Ranganatha Perumal Swami. He established Jana Akarshana Yantram to attract more people, more devotees. Jana Akarshana Yantram there. Then he went to Chidambaram, had darshan of Lord Nataraja. There he established Sammelana Yantram, which is a combination of Shiva Yantram and Shakti Yantram. Shiva and Shakti together. Kanchipuram, he established a Sri Chakram in Kamakshi Ambal temple. And by establishing that by Sri Chakram, he brought down the Ugram of Ambal and made her Shanta Swarupi. There is one Nama in Ashtotra Shatanamavali, Kanchyam Sri Chakra Rajakya Yantra Sthapana Dikshitaya Namaha. He was responsible for establishing Sri Chakram in Kamakshi Ambal temple. Tirupati, he established Dhana Akarshana Yantram. And then he composed Vishnu Padadi Kesa Stotram. This could be one of the reasons why Lord Venkateshwara is so rich today. So, because he had Dhana Akarshana. Then these are some of the holy places where he visited in South India. Then slowly he went to Puri on the eastern side. Jagannatha Swami he had darshan. Then he established Govardhana Peetham, that is Purvamnaya Peetham on the eastern side. And he made Hastamalaka as the head of that Peetham. Then when he traveled to western side of India, he went to Dwaraka, which was ruled by Bhagavan Krishna. Here Adi Shankara established Kalika Peetham, Paschimnaya Peetham, and made Padmapadacharya as the head. In Puri, he made Hastamalaka as the head. Dwaraka, Padmapadacharya as the head. Then in Kashmir, he traveled to Kashmir also. It was known as Rishi Mandalam or Sharada Mandalam. And there was Sharada Peetham even before that. It was already existing in Kashmir. Shankara, after his visit, he firmly established Advaita Vedanta Shastram, that flag, in Kashmir. And there is a very famous shlokam also. Namaste Sharada Devi Kashmira Puravasini Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Danam Cha Dehime. To show that the Kashmir is the head, the Peetham of Sharadambal also. Then Jyotishmat in Himalayas. Shankara did penance, tapas for many days in Himalayas. He traveled in the Himalaya region in many places. He composed Saundarya Lahari in Himalayas. Then he went to Nepal and made corrections to the puja procedures in line with Vaidika way in Lord Pashupatinath temple. Then Badari Kshetram, that is Badri Narayana. Here in Badri only, on the banks of river Saraswati in a cave, Bhagavan Vyasacharya had lived, and he segregated the Vedas into four. In a cave on the banks of the river Alakananda, Gaudapadacharya, that is Adi Shankaracharya's Paramaguru, Govinda Bhagavad Pada's Guru, he did penance, and Gaudapadacharya wrote Mandukya Karika, the famous Advaita writing. Then Shankara had darshan of all these sacred places and came to Badrik Ashramam. He worshipped Narayana Murti and established Uttaramnaya Peetham, Jyotish Mat, and made Totakacharya as its head. In between all these places where he visited, in between he had inclination, he had some, the thought that his mother was suffering. So it is time for him to reach out to his mother, as he made promise before he left Kaladi. After getting the promise from the mother that he can take up sannyas ashrama. And Aryamba also was in her last days, so she was also thinking about her son, that he should come because I'm in the deathbed, he has to come and do my last rites and all those. So at that time he also realized, then immediately he went from the place where he was, immediately he went to Kalati, once again because of the magical powers, Siddhi he had. As we saw last time also, when in Mandana Mishra house, he just went inside in a locked up house. All these Brahmajnanis are bestowed with Ashtamaha Siddhi. As I said earlier, they will not show it outside other people unnecessarily, but where required, they will use it. So now it is time, Acharya thought that he has to use that Siddhi. So he went by Akasha and he landed in Kaladi. Mother was very happy to see a fully grown up young man, of course wearing Kashaya Vastram, he is a sannyasi. But she had already known that he was very famous. Lot of pandits had very high opinion, very high regards, reverence for Adi Shankara Bhagavad Padal. He had heard about the stories, what he did, how knowledgeable he was. So she was very, very happy. She asked Acharya to teach her Atma Vidya, because she realized that she is in the last days, and Acharya also did that. But then she told that it is she will be more comfortable with Parameshwara Dhyanam. So he asked him to pray Lord Parameshwara, and immediately he sang Shiva Bhujangam, containing about 40 slokas. Then Shiva Pashatas came. She was slightly scared. So she requested Shankara to chant about Bhagavan Vishnu. Immediately he sang Vishnu Bhujangam, worshipped Bhagavan Narayana. Then while praying that, Aryamba breathed her last and attained Shivalokam. Now he had to do last rites for his mother. He being a sannyasi, he cannot have Agni and other karyams. So he expected relatives, other people to come to his help. But very surprisingly, nobody came to his help. And he was just left alone. Okay, he did not worry about that. He himself took the body to the backside of the house, had Vadaitar, Pacha Vadatar he had in the banana tree. So he made it on, he pulled them and kept them on top of his mother's body, and he chanted a lot of mantras, and he composed Matru Panchakam in praise of motherhood generally, about the compassionate nature of mothers in general. Then the fire came. Bhagavan, Agni Bhagavan took the stula shariram of Aryamba. So he chanted all Veda mantras and did all the last rites for the body. Having performed the last rites to his mother, he continued his journey to North India. Because none of the people, none of the relatives or anybody came to his help in completing the last rites of Shankaracharya's mother, the whole village had to suffer following three terrible curses. No sannyasis or yatis would come to that village. Dead people's bodies would be cremated only in the backside of the houses. And no one will get Brahmajnanam, Atmajnanam. These were the three curses that engulfed the people in that village of Kalati. And only after a very, very long time, after many centuries, they say these curses were removed by the 33rd Acharya of Sringeri Peetham, Sadguru Sri Sachidananda Shivabhinava Nrasimha Bharati Mahaswami, 33rd Acharya. Then only these curses were removed and people were living normally now. So this was the last rite performed by Shankaracharya to his mother. And then continuing his journey, he went to Kedaranath. There he had darshan of Kedarishwarar. He was doing a lot of tapas there. Then he realized that the purpose of having taken the avatara is coming to an end. It's all over, because he had established Chaturamnaya Peetham in the four corners of the country. All the teachings have been done. So he thought that the purpose is over. So he called all his sishyas, asked them to chant stotrams. And the next day morning, he went inside the kshetram and they could not see his body, and he merged with Lord Parameshwara there. So this is the life history of Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya, to the extent which I know, to the extent which the time permitted. Now, to continue with this, today's topic is the greatness of Sringeri. We have already seen Adi Shankaracharya was a reviver of Sanatana Dharma and Advaita Vedanta Shastram also. He is the foremost philosopher to have lived in this country. He lived only for 32 years. And what all the things which he did, we saw briefly in the last session. So he mastered all four Vedas before 8 years. And he mastered all Shastras before he completed the age of 12. And before 16 years of age, he had completed writing bhashyams of various compositions, like even Brahmasutra Bhashya, he completed everything before 16 years of age. Such a luminary Shankara wrote not only these bhashyams, but he took compassion on normal people who are not very highly literate in Shastra Sampradaya. So he took pity on them, and he wrote a lot of granthas explaining the Advaita Vedanta Shastram. Not only that, he composed many stotrams also on many deities. All his writings are full of meanings. If we correctly understand the meanings of these stotram or prakarana grantham or bhashyam, of course, our lives will become sarthakam. That's what Mahasanidanam used to say. Will become sanctified. We can reach greater heights in our lives. He had a great vision, not a narrow-minded person, great vision, inclusiveness. That is, he had included everybody in his vision. Because in order to understand this bhashyam, one has to be an expert in Sanskritam, Vyakarana Shastram, Mimamsa Shastram, Tarka Shastram, Nyaya Shastram, everything. So many of us are not qualified. He took pity on all of us. Therefore, he showed the path for everybody to reach Bhagavan. Whether we are scholars or even illiterates, everybody is shown the right path by Bhagavan Adi Shankara. Why do we say that he is a great visionary? He realized that it is not sufficient to teach Dharma Shastra and Vedanta Shastra to people during his time. He realized that these teachings should benefit the entire humanity for many centuries, eternally. That is the purpose for his avataram also. So for this purpose, he had established Chaturamnaya Peetham. First and the most significant among these four is Sringeri in south. So it is called Dakshinamnaya Sringeri Sri Sharada Peetham. Adi Shankara had special regard, special affection for Sringeri. People may feel that a sannyasi should not have any special regard or abhimana for any particular place or any particular person, which is true. A jnani should not, and he need not, he will not have. Shankara also did not have just like that. But when a place is very sacred, when a place is so very special, there is nothing wrong to have some appreciation for that place. So that is the affection he had for Sringeri. When he came to Sringeri along with his disciples, he saw an extraordinary sight, unusual sight, wherein two animals which are Parama Vairis, either naturally they were enemies, but they were living in a very peaceful manner. King Cobra had its hood, and under that hood, the shade of the hood, there was a pregnant frog, and it was struggling in the scorching sun, heat. So the cobra was, with its hood, it was protecting the enemy, which is frog, from the heat. So he witnessed this unusual, miraculous sight. He realized that it is not an ordinary place. He knew, the moment he saw that sight, he knew that it is a sacred place. Then he decided that if he were to establish a center to foster dharma to people, this will be the place which has ahimsa as the principal quality. Coming to this firm conclusion, he established Sringeri Sharada Peetham. He made it as Vidyasthanam also. He lived in Sringeri with his students for 12 long years. He taught Dharma Shastram, Sanatana Dharma to general public at large, everybody. And for the adequately qualified students, he taught Advaita Vedanta Shastra. Because in order to learn Advaita Vedantam, one has to be qualified. Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannaha. One has to earn that qualification. Because for any degree, any subject, even materialistic also, we need to have qualification. And for Atma Jnanam, definitely we need much more qualification. So if the people had these qualifications, at least if they have the inclination to develop these qualifications, for them, Acharya taught Vedanta Shastra. So Sringeri was very favorite of Acharya, we saw. So he had chosen the first Acharya also in that manner only. He had lot of disciples. Among them, 4 were principal students, more qualified, more experienced, more popular than other people. The difference between, he made Sureshwaracharya as the head of uh, Sringeri Sharada Peetham, we saw. Why did he have to choose Sureshwara as the head of Sharada Peetham? Among the 4, the 3 students, the disciples, came in search of Acharya. For example, Padmapada Acharya. Purvashrama name is Sanandanan. He saw that. He came from South India. He came in search of Acharya, sought refuge in Acharya. He prayed to him to accept him as his student. Then Acharya accepted that. Similarly, Totaka, he also served Acharya for many years and then received Shankara's grace. In the case of Hastamalaka, his Purvashrama parents, when Adi Shankaracharya was traveling in south, Shrivali village, these parents brought the child and sought blessings from Acharya. They told him that our son is about 12 years old, but he behaves like a jatam, that is a very dumb fellow. He doesn't answer anybody, he doesn't talk to anybody, he doesn't do any action by himself. If somebody asks him to come, he will come. Ask him to go, he will go. Like that. Just a dumb person. So his father thought that by doing this Upanayana celebration, Upanayana function, he will be all right. So he Upanayanamum panni vachachi. But still, there is no change at all. So parents were very worried. So they came to Acharya, so sought his blessings. By his divine look, Acharya made this seemingly dumb boy into a Vedantic, Advaitic Vedantic. Hastamalaka, immediately on seeing Bhagavad Padacharya, he started singing Advaita Stotrams, which is known as Hastamalakiyam. And later on, Adi Shankaracharya, the Guru, wrote Bhashyam on Hastamalaki. So that was the reverence Acharya had. So sheer compassion. There is no question of I am the Guru and you are the Sishya, I will not write Bhashyam and all this. No. Whatever it is, he will write. So that is how it is. See, these are the differences. So, whereas Sureshwaracharya, Shankaracharya went in search of Vishwarupa, we saw in the last session. So he searched for his house, he goes to his house, he invites him for debate, defeats him, then he takes him into his fold. He taught him Advaita Vedanta Shastram, initiated him into Sannyasa Ashram. This is the special aspect of Sureshwara. Guru goes in search of Sishya. So this is the special nature. So Shankara was very affectionate, fond, and he was very proud of Sureshwaracharya because Sureshwaracharya was highly qualified Pandit in his Purvashrama. Master of all Shastras, he was doing his Nitya Naimittika Karma without fail. Achara Sheelar, endowed with Acharam. And he was always teaching and guiding his students. These are the, in fact, special qualities which Shankaracharya expected the leader of the Peetham to have. Sureshwara had in abundance all these qualities. Therefore, Adi Shankaracharya made Sureshwara the first Acharya of Dakshinamnaya Sringeri Shri Sharada Peetham. Such was the affection, such was the fondness Shankara had for Sureshwara as well as for Sringeri. From that day onwards, all the acharyas of this Peetham, starting from Sureshwara up to now, Sri Vidhushekara Bharati Mahaswamiji, all of them are eminent Pandits, experts in Shastra, always engaged in teaching and guiding the students, undertaking Vijaya Yatras, many Vijaya Yatra. Even now also Sri Sannidhanam just completed his North India Vijaya Yatra. Wherever they go, Vijaya Yatra, the first thing they do is Dharma Prabodhanam. They will teach Dharma Shastram to the local people there, whichever place he goes. Like for example, he came to Kanchipuram when he came to Chennai. First, the moment he landed in Kanchipuram, they did Dhulipala Puja, and immediately he started Dharma Prabodhanam there. So that is the standard all the acharyas had in the past, and now also it continues. The parampara, the whole style continues like that. Every Jagat Guru in this parampara is very illustrious people. They were executing the responsibility which was trusted upon them by Adi Shankaracharya. That was a single focus. That is a single focus of all the acharyas who is coming in this parampara. That is undertaking and completing the responsibilities entrusted by Adi Shankaracharya. That is the only object. It is the responsibility of every Shishya of this Guru Parampara to understand, to know the revere, to know the mahimai of our Gurus. We as disciples should have firm faith, which is Shraddha and Bhakti, devotion towards all the acharyas. These two, that is Shraddha and Bhakti, act as enablers to follow Acharya's Upadesha. Because Dharma will be taught by Acharya. But in order to follow Acharya's Upadesha, one needs to have Shraddha and Bhakti. If I don't have Shraddha and Bhakti to my Guru, then whatever he says, it will be like falling into the deaf ears. It will not have any impact. I will say, okay, he is highly learned, highly qualified person. I will do Sashtanga Namaskaram also, listens to his Upadesham and goes home. That's it. And I will go home. There will be no transformation in me at all if I don't have Shraddha and Bhakti. So every disciple should develop Shraddha and Bhakti towards the Acharya. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. So whenever we see our acharyas, we have to do Sashtanga Namaskaram there. Serve them with utmost sincerity and humility for many years. Guru Seva is very important. Whatever the type of sevas which we can, they don't need everybody's help. But whatever from our side, whatever we can offer, we should do that. And then if we are really interested in Atma Jnanam, choose the right time and choose the right place. After serving Guru for many years, you can request him, and depending on our qualifications, he will definitely teach us Atma Jnanam, and he will help us. Even if we are not qualified for this Brahma Vidya, but he will guide us to get that Brahma Vidya sooner or later. If not in this Janma, definitely in the next Janma, we will definitely get Jnana. None of the Jagat Gurus of this Peetham ever sought name and fame. They are not there for earning name and fame. They come because of their qualifications, because of their teaching, because of their Jnanam and Shastra Jnanam. They come. They never seek name and fame. This is what Mahasannidhanam told. So this is just I am telling you. This is the hallmark of Sringeri Sharada Peetham as per Shankara Bhagavad Pada's instruction. Now, This is the Mahatmyam of Guru Parampara of, in general, of Sringeri Sharada Peeth. Now we have to understand the greatness of Sringeri. We have to go to Treta Yuga, in which Lord Ramachandra Murthy took avatara. On the banks of the river Sarayu, Maharaja Dasharatha was performing Putrakameshti Yaga for progeny. He had all the wealth, but he did not have children. On the advice of Kulaguru, sage Vasishtha, they had arranged for making Putrakameshti Yaga. Now there must be an Acharya to conduct this Yaga. So Vasishtha told Dasaratha that there is only one qualified person in this whole Bharata who is capable of conducting this Yaga so that you will get the benefit. Who is that? None other than Maharishi Rishyashringa. So you go and bring him here. If he does the Yaga, definitely you will be given phalan. You will be getting the children as you want. This Maharishi Rishyashringa is the son of Maharishi Vibhandaka, who is the son of Kashyapa Maharishi. Kashyapa Maharishi and Vibhandaka are great sages in their own right. Because this Putrakameshti Yaga was conducted by Rishyashringa Maharishi, Dasaratha was blessed with Sakshat Mahavishnu. Ramachandra Murthy Avatara took place, and because of Rama Avatara, the entire humanity is benefited. Maharishi Vibhandaka raised his son Rishyashringa on the banks of the river Tungabhadra in and around Sringeri. The nature of Rishyashringa was very pure. He was very innocent. For his father ensured that every action and the speech, every thought and action of Rishyashringa was in accordance with Vedic way of Brahmachari's life, Vedic lifestyle. And the point to be noted is Brahmacharya Vratam. Vibhandaka was very particular that Rishyashringa should maintain that Brahmacharya Vratam for many years. So he took utmost care, and Rishyashringa also followed all the guidelines given by his father Vibhandaka. And every day, Rishyashringa used to go to Shivalinga on top of a hill in Sringeri, and he used to do prayers. He worshipped Bhagavan Parameshwara in the Rupam of Shivalinga there, along with his father Vibhandaka. For many years, he worshipped Bhagavan there. Because of the worship of Lord Parameshwara in that place, that is on top of the hill, he was bestowed with spiritual powers. Combined with these holy spiritual powers bestowed upon him by Lord Parameshwara, also because of the lifestyle, Brahmacharya Vratam, also because of the purity of his nature, he was chosen as instrument for bringing Ramavatara into our Bharata country. This story connects these great Maharishis and our Adi Shankaracharya. Adi Shankaracharya also worshipped this Shivalinga which is on top of a hill, and he established Sringeri Peetham in the Sringeri also. Now we have to understand who is a Maharishi or Muni. Maharishis are our ancestors. See, we have to be very proud of ourselves. There is nothing wrong. We can feel very proud of ourselves because we are all coming from the parampara of Rishis, Rishi parampara. We can say that boldly. These Maharishis considered all worldly pleasures and wealth as equal to blade of grass. Trina matrena for them. They were not bothered about worldly pleasures and wealth at all. And they considered only Bhagavan's grace as most worthy of pursuit. Their only motto is to seek the blessings from Bhagavan. Therefore, they undertook intense tapas for many years to secure the grace of Bhagavan. They pleased Bhagavan with their tapas. Because of their tapas, Bhagavan also gets pleased and he showered his grace to these Maharishis. Tapodhanargal. They also have dhanam. Dhanam means we know only money, house, cars, etc. For them, tapas is the dhanam. That is why they are called tapodhanar. Graced by Bhagavan, these Maharishis, to tide past the samsara sagara, the cycle of birth and death and accompanied dukkhams, secured the knowledge of Advaitam, non-dual reality, Advaita Tattvam, and become free from shackles of samsara. That is the purpose of the human birth, which Maharishis did very well. Two such Maharishis in the direct lineage of Maharishi Kashyapa. Kashyapa Maharishi is one of the Saptarishis. Saptarishis are Atri, Bhrigu, Kutsa, Vasishta, Gautama, Kashyapa, Angirasarshaya. Kashyapa Prajapati is one of the Saptarishis. So these two Maharishis, Kashyapa Maharishi's son was Vibhandaka, Vibhandaka's son was Rishyashringa. So Vibhandaka and Rishyashringa are the two Maharishis who graced Sringeri. They did a lot of tapas in that area. They made Sringeri as Punya Kshetram. This is the main reason for such a greatness of Sringeri. Bhagavan Vibhandaka Maharishi did penance for a long time and attained Videhamukti. His son, Rishyashringa, with his divine presence, he will make even the worst drought-affected area as lush and green and prosperous by his mere presence there. So people were trying to invite Rishyashringa to their place, but Rishyashringa is so involved in his tapas, he would not budge in, so he would not go to all different places. Where required, if it is requested, then only he will go to such place. So by his divine presence, the place will become very prosperous. In his tapas, he was much more better than his father himself, Vibhandaka. He had a lot of knowledge. So these two Maharishis were main responsible for Sringeri's Mahatmyam. The place where Rishyashringa did tapas is known as Rishyashringapuri or Sringagiri or Sringeri. 12 centuries ago, when Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya came to Sringeri, he saw this very, very unusual sight of cobra and frog. Then immediately he realized that this is a very sacred place, and he also know that it is only because of the tapas of these two Maharishis, this place is very sacred. Therefore, he established Sringeri Sharda Peetham there. Now, Shankara's Guru, Govinda Bhagavat Pada, who is revered as incarnation of Maharishi Patanjali, avatara of Maharishi Patanjali. This Maharishi Patanjali wrote Ashtanga Yoga, Yoga Shastra. It was propounded by Maharishi Patanjali. He, in his sutra, Yoga Sutra, describes the relation between tapas and the ahimsa, peaceful coexistence is ahimsa, with one's adversaries. In Yoga Sutra, it is in Ashtanga Yoga means 8 limbs. So there are 8 parts. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. These are the 8 limbs of Yoga Sutra. A person, if he is able to master all these 8 qualities, and he is able to establish himself within these qualities all the time, then he can be considered as attained Yoga Siddhi. Then only he can be called as a yogi. Now, first one is Yama. In that Yama, there are 5 sub-limbs. There are Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharyam, and Aparigraham. These are the 5 sub-parts of Yama. When the practitioner becomes a firm adherent of yoga, then Ahimsa is very, very natural, not only with that person, but also in and around that place where that person lives. Where you can see cows and the tigers, they are all the Janma Vairis. Swabhavatla, they are Vairis, enemies. But they will be coexisting very peacefully in that area where the yogi would be living. Owing to the greatness of the tapas of Vibhandaka Maharshi and Rishishringa Maharshi, all living beings, not only animals but also human beings, they live amicably in Sringeri even now, giving up their eremity. Realizing this greatness of Sringeri, Adi Shankaracharya requested Ambal to be there, and Ambal also agreed. Then he did Pratishtha of Sharadamba, who is known as, who takes the form of Mahakali, Mahasaraswati and Mahalakshmi, goddess Sharadamba. And he also established a Sri Chakram there. Then he started doing pujas for Amba. In the Mahamnaya text, which is written by Adi Shankaracharya, where he writes the instructions as to how to maintain this matham, what are the procedures to be done, how a puja should be done, all those things he had mentioned, who Adi Shankaracharya himself, which is called Mahamnaya text. There he has mentioned not only Sharadamba but also Shivalinga on top of the hill. The origin of Shivalinga is mentioned in Tungabhadra Mahatmyam, which appears in Brahma Purana, Brahmanda Purana. In this Tungabhadra Mahatmyam, the region where Vibhandaka was doing tapas, Tungabhadra flows into north. Then it takes diversion, it goes into east, and then once again it goes back to northern direction. This is similar to Kashi Kshetram. This is also a Punya Kshetram, where Ganges flows from north, takes diversion to east, and then goes back to north. The reason behind this is Lord Parameshwara coming from north, and once again we all go back to Bhagavan Parameshwara. In order to make this reality, the river also flows in this direction. So where the direction goes, that place is definitely a sacred place, Kashi and then Sringeri. In order to destroy demons like Hiranyaksha, Mahavishnu took avatara of Varaha. Lord Varaha came in order to save the earth, which was submerged under the waters by Hiranyaksha. Lord Bhagavan Mahavishnu took Varaha avatara and saved the earth. And from his teeth, which were korai parkal, we will say, from the sharp tusks. Thus emerged the river Tungabhadra. It was his sweat, whatever. So the river flowed from the teeth of Varaha Avatara. That is why even in Sringeri, Varaha is the Murti there of Sringeri. Varaha Avatara is very important. From there only, from Varaha Avatara only, this Tungabhadra river also flow. This is one of the other reasons for greatness of Sringeri. Tungabhadra Mahatmyam also mentions the origin of the Shivalinga on top of that hill. Vibhandaka was instrumental in this manifestation of Lord. This Mahatmyam says, Tungabhadra Mahatmyam says, Maharshi Vibhandaka embarking upon a hill in Sringeri to seek the blessings of Lord Parameshwara, got engaged in intense tapas. He was wearing mantol, deer skin, sat on kusha grass, darbhasanam, and then he was chanting Shiva Panchakshara mantra. He did japa, concentrating on Lord Parameshwara. Not 1 year, not 10 years, 300 years he did tapas. Because of the intense tapas of Vibhandaka Maharshi, Lord Parameshwara was very pleased, and then he manifested in the form of Shivalinga. Vibhandaka was very happy, so he did Shastanga Namaskara to Bhagavan. He obtained his grace. Then he also requested Lord Parameshwara to continue to show his grace and continue to bless all the devotees who come to worship him in that sacred hill in Sringeri. Bhagavan also agreed with the request of Vibhandaka. The name of the Shivalinga is Malahani Kareshwara. The Purana further says that a person who after taking the bath in the sacred river Tungabhadra goes to Malahani Kareshwara temple and does puja, tapas in that temple, he will go to Brahmalokam for many days, of course, for many years. With Shraddha and Bhakti, that person will go to Brahmaloka. He will enjoy all the pleasantries and the pleasant stays in Brahmaloka. He will enjoy all the good things. And then ultimately he will go to Kailasaloka also. He will merge with Bhagavan Parameshwara. What else one can seek? This is the best thing you can ask for. By taking dip, snana in Tungabhadra and praying Malahani Kareshwara, one can reach Bhagavan Ishvara. One who secures darshan, this is the general meaning. Now there is a deeper meaning of this Brahmanda Puranam in Tungabhadra Mahatmyam. There is a sloka there. The deeper meaning of this slokam is one who does tapas on Lord Parameshwara after taking bath in Tungabhadra river for many years. Then Malahani Kareshwara helps this devotee to cross over the samsara ocean also. Avidya is destroyed for this particular person. And then he becomes Jivan Muktaha during his lifestyle, during his lifetime, and after his death he becomes Videha Mukta. This is the deeper meaning of this sloka which appears in the Tungabhadra Purana. This Malam refers to Malahani Kareshwara. Malam refers to accumulated papam, accumulated sins. Samsara that arises out of avidya, self-ignorance, is filled with any number of sufferings. All of them get destroyed, Hani, by Bhagavan Parameshwara. That is why he is addressed as Bhagavan Malahani Kareshwara. The Purana states, Amho Hani Karam Lingam Malahani Karam Viduhu is the name. Then the Acharyas, after Adi Shankaracharya, after Sureshwaracharya, all these Acharyas, various Jagat Gurus, they undertake a lot of service to this temple, building shrines, of reconsecrating this temple, Punaruddharanam, and enhancing the temple in many ways. They were offering special worships to Bhagavan Malahanikareshwara on various occasions. The 24th Acharya, Shri Abhinava Nrasimha Bharati Mahaswamigal, in 17th century, he went to Malahanikareshwara temple. He wanted to worship Mahaganapati, but Mahaganapati was not consecrated there. Of course, he being the Peethadipati, he had lot of siddhis, so he sat in front of a pillar stone, and then by his mantra siddhi, he was doing mantra japa on Bhagavan Mahaganapati, and with the turmeric piece, he drew the form of Mahaganapati on this stone. Because of his spiritual powers and mantra siddhi, Mahaganapati manifested in the form he worshipped. He wanted him to come. So in the same form, Bhagavan Mahaganapati Avirbhavicha Chandadatala, in the same place where he drew the form of Mahaganapati in the pillar stone. So that Murti is known as Stamba Ganapati. Even today, the first thing we do after entering the Malahanikareshwara temple is to worship Stamba Ganapati. Even today, Mahasanidhanam, Sri Sanidhanam, does puja there, and then only goes to pray Malahanikareshwara. This you can draw parallel to Lord Mahavishnu came in the form of Narasimha Avatara to show the blessings on Prahlada. Prahlada showed one pillar which was chosen by his father. There, that moment, Narasimha appeared. In the same way, similar way, Mahaganapati appeared here in Malahanikareshwara Kovi. And this temple during this Acharya's time was completely renovated, part of historical revival of the entire dharmic establishment of Shankaracharya of Sringeri. This Jagat Guru, Abhinava Nrasimha Bharati Mahaswamigal, wrote Bhashyam, commentary on Shiva Gita, which is part of Padma Purana. Shiva Gita is Vedantic treaty in which Lord Parameshwara taught Vedanta Shastra, Advaita Shastra to Lord Rama. Such is the quality and qualifications of Acharyas. So he wrote Bhashyam on Shiva Gita. Then the subsequent Acharya, 25th Acharya of Sringeri Sharada Peetham, Sri Sachidananda Bharati Mahaswamigal, he realized that Parameshwara has to be accompanied by Mahadevi, Divine Mother, and therefore he consecrated a temple, Bhagavati Bhavani there, Bhavani Ambal, in this temple. He also made special arrangements for special pujas, daily pujas, and he directed that every year the Kalyana Mahotsava, grand wedding of Lord Malahanikareshwara and Bhavani Amba, to be celebrated every year. That was the direction given by 25th Acharya, Shri Sachidananda Bharati Mahaswamigal. And even today, every year on Vaishaka Shukla Dwadasi, Girija Kalyana Vaibhavam Mahotsavam is celebrated in Sringeri in a grand manner. It is very interesting to see. They will chant all the mantras now, how our wedding is being done. No? everything is the same way they do. They will do the Unjal Alangaram, everything. It will be very nice to see. Pravaran also they say for Parameshwara and Mahadevi. This Sringeri is protected by Kaval Devata, protecting deities on all four sides. On the eastern side, Kala Bhairava is there. On the western side, Keraya Anjaneya is there. On the northern side, Kalikamba. And on the southern side, Durgamba, that is Vanadurga. All these four deities were installed by none other than Adi Shankaracharya himself. And he had prescribed the puja procedures, how to do, what are the Naivedyams to be made, everything he had written. These deities continue to protect people in and around the Sringeri from all natural calamities, from diseases, from every possible evil forces. Adi Shankaracharya gave Sri Chandramoulishwara Spatika Lingam, which was given to him by Lord Parameshwara in the Himalayas while traveling in the Himachal region. And also he gave Ratnagarbha Ganapati, red stone in the navel portion. These two he gave to Sureshwaracharya, and from that day onwards till today our Acharyals do Nitya Puja to Ratnagarbha Ganapati and Chandramoulishwara. Now we come to know from the records of records like Guru Vamsa Kavyam, so it's written later on. This Kritam adorned by for Acharyals during Navaratri Darbar and all those. Pallak, umbrella were all offered by erstwhile kings about 700 years back. It also talks about Navaratri Darbar functions, that is Guru Vamsa Kavyam talks about Darbar function, Vidvat Sadas, Homam, Puja and all other functions, including in Malahani Kareshwara temple for the last few centuries, because this book was written 700 years back. And also it tells about the relations between Sringeri Mutt and the kings of Vijayanagara, Kauti and the Maharashtra Beshwas. All of them are explained. Sri Sannidhanam has told every year Mahashivaratri day, and the daytime Acharya goes to Malahani Kareshwara temple, worships Parameshwara, does Abhishekam, and then only in the night they do the Chandramoulishwara Puja, Nalukala Puja, Mahashivaratri. In Malahani Kareshwara Kovil, the Bhattar will do Nalukala Puja during Mahashivaratri. But it is the custom that all the Acharyals should go to Malahani Kareshwara and do Puja, Abhishekam and Puja on Mahashivaratri day continuously. It is happening even today. And then our Sri Sannidhanam told, Chaturmukeshwarar also is there. Yeah, that also is a very important. Vidyaranya is there. So every Acharya, without exception, does lot of pujas, Abhishekam to Malahani Kareshwara, because he is such a divine Murti there, and now Bhavani Ambal also. So all of us should make it a point to go to Malahani Kareshwara temple also, in addition to visiting and having darshan of our Acharyals and Sharadamba. So with this, I will conclude this session. I hope I have done it on time. Harihi Om. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam